The 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship is sponsored by Rady Children's Hospital, the largest children's hospital on the West Coast, ranked among the 10 best children's hospitals in the nation. So glad you've tuned in there with us here on the campus of the University of San Diego, Torero Stadium. It's Jamaica and Canada, the number 10 seed against the number 2 seed. Flying the colors for Team Jamaica. And running the bench is head coach Mark Wilson, who in his collegiate playing days worked at Lehigh University. Thrilled to be here in a quarterfinal matchup to match wits against Matt Brown. Matt, for a long time, part of this Canada lacrosse entry. They'll wear the white jerseys today. Jamaica is in the black jerseys, the same uniforms that they wore to victory quint over Italy, knocking off the number 7 seed yesterday in an upset, 7-6. Face-off X, winning the draw for Canadian squad. It's Jake Withers. Withers getting the jump on Owen Stevenson. First offensive touch. If you're new to the World Lacrosse Men's Championship, no shot clock. 6-on-6 at the offensive end. Running time until the final 30 seconds of each of the first, second, and third quarters. In the fourth frame, the clock will stop inside of 2 minutes. Dane Smith on the go, picked up by Daniello Parkinson. Snapshot score! Wasting no time with a rocket. Canada jumps out in front with a strike from Clark Peterson.
A pick and slip two-man game is such a bread and butter carry across the formation. Peterson flashes towards Dane Smith as if he's going to set the pick and slips it underneath, and the defender caught looking upfield. A great start for Canada, coming off an off day where they focused on rest, recovery, and stretching in the morning. Guys were cut free to hit the beach of the afternoon and then to enjoy Little Italy last night.
Family time. Coach is saying more and more families coming in as this event winds to its conclusion. Withers gets another draw. Jake Withers, who was not with Team Canada Q in the event's opener against the United States, he was completing firefighter training.
Great stuff. Peterborough, Ontario, and so many of these lacrosse players in Canada choose firefighting as a profession. He had mandatory training to get certified. Congratulations to Jake, former Fogo at Ohio State.
Peterson, who had a couple of goals in that loss for Canada against the United States. That was a 7-5 setback. On the board first for Canada. They've had both offensive possessions to this point, just shy of the 2-minute mark in the opening frame.
I was impressed with Jamaica on ball yesterday defensively, especially 44 Goran Murray. It's a name that college fans will recognize. Former first-team All-American at the University of Maryland. Thought their short sticks really mobile.
Josh Byrne, one of the best offensive weapons in the world, gets tripped up. There is a flag and an extra man opportunity coming for Canada.
I think the challenge for Jamaica defensively in this game will be to be dealing with the passing of this Canadian team, some of the off-ball stuff inside. You could say that this game, Joe, this is Buster Douglas against Mike Tyson. And Jamaica is Buster Douglas. They're looking to pull the shocking upset.
That's the analogy that Coach Wilson was using with his gang at the morning meeting. Smith turns it quickly for Byrne. Canadians on the extra man, 6-on-5. Whistling drive from Teat. Hits pay dirt. Matt Brown said Canada wanted to be aggressive today, come out firing. They've done exactly that.
Power play goal. What's notable about this shot is watch how fast Teat lets this go. It's like a quick stick from distance. Boom, it's in his stick. You'll see it coming here. Watch how quickly he releases this ball from the outside. Typically, that's the type of release you see from mid-range, but Teat does it from distance.
Teat, biggest game in the event so far, a goal and 4 assists against Australia. That was back on Saturday. Canada vaults to the early 2-0 advantage. Team Canada, silver medalists in 2018. They've won gold 3 times, in England in the late 70s, 06 at home, and 2014 in Denver.
Penalty continues in international rules. There's no release yet.
Rylan Reese jogging it back ahead, picked up there by Joel Brown as we're back to full and even strength. Tallies from Peterson and Teat have the Canadians on top. Canada began the day, Q, offensively, ranked 18th. There are 30 squads in this event. Matt Brown said the offense has been a work in progress, but it's coming along.
I think the same goes for Team USA prior to their England contest, where they exploded for, 18 goals? Both of these offenses trying to find their flow.
Fields on the move. He'll hitch. Play for Dixon, working around the perimeter. Team USA in the nightcap quarterfinal from Torero Stadium against Israel. Fields gets to the interior. Dixon behind the back, one-handed. He scores.
Not a great start for the Jamaicans. They find themselves in the penalty box. The ball's moving kind of fast right now for their defense, and you got some magical efforts by Curtis Dixon. That's not nice. All-world selection back in 2018. He played at University of Delaware. He's 34 now, but he shows no signs of slowing down. Curtis Dixon in the house.
Look, Mom, one hand. He buries it. Jamaica asks for time as Canada comes out with the early right cross. 1, 2, 3. Teat, Peterson, and then Dixon.
And this is going to be a little bit of a challenge right now for Mark Wilson. There was so much hype. The Jamaica guys were out early. We were on the field. It was just an amazing moment when Team Canada took the field to play this Jamaican team. And Coach Wilson, Mark Wilson, as you said, Lehigh University in 1994 was a good team for head coach John McCloskey. He's become the leader of this Caribbean team. Their long-term goals, the Olympics in 2028. He's certainly got the experience. Jamaica right now with a pool of about 200 players. 80 he considers to be serious of international level. This is a young man who had a career in the financial industry, this head coach. He was in Big Pharma. And then he decided, you know what, I just want to teach and coach. And he does that in Hillsborough, New Jersey. And now he's in his first stint as the head coach of the Jamaican national team. His dad, Carol, was born in Jamaica. And that's really the case for 22 of 23 members of this Jamaican roster. They have one parent, and many of them emigrated from Jamaica into the States.
Coach Wilson, along with Dylan Henningberg, Kenneth Sobrati, and Mike Terry, as the coaching staff for a Jamaican side that has won, if you can believe it, Q, its last 12 games in World Championship play.
Yeah, 5-0 in this event. And you talk to these players, just saying how awesome this is. It's been a dream come true to go in a locker room and feel as at home as they do. They share a certain connection. We were down on the field yesterday, Joe, during that Italy game. We were in their huddles, basically. We experienced that whole game with them, and I couldn't have been more impressed. Their focus, the level of coaching, and the bonds that exist between these young men.
The emotional level after the game, just amazing. There's a special connection between the lacrosse players for Team Jamaica. They've been on defense completely the first 6 minutes of this contest. Curtis Dixon, a.k.a. Superman. They know him very well here in San Diego, plays indoors with the Seals. Often running here for a short side shot. McPeak made the save there on Dyson Williams, the 60-goal scorer out of Duke.
McPeak's self-talk in the goal is about just being himself. He says, I want to be myself, but I want to be a little different out of the goal. That's where I can have my fun. He was tutored by Alex Cade out here in California. He also spent some time with the Goalie Smith group up in Baltimore. He sat at Syracuse behind Drake Porter, who's now playing in the Pro League.
You get a second look at that stab from McPeak, who was credited with just 6 saves yesterday against Italy, Quint. It felt like a whole lot more than that.
Who was doing stats? It was more like 16. I thought he outplayed Italy's goalie, Ben DeLuca, who's a pro. That's how good I thought McPeak played yesterday.
Jamaica gets its first offensive touch. First midfielder Tanner Sims, who's a Florida native, has control of it. Son of Colby and Nikki.
Flagler College for Sims, who's running on this first midfield.
Marcus Minichiello, who plays indoors, had the game-winning goal yesterday. A couple of goals against Italy in the process. Sims to the alley, guarded well by Cam Wires. Wires and Shumay getting better and better as this tournament goes along on the back end for Canada.
17-year-old Stone Evans playing at X, covered by Brody Merrill, who's more than twice his age.
Hossack, perhaps the best defender in the world, keeping tabs on Kari Sears. Sears, the high-scoring attackman for Team Jamaica, wears 8 in the black jersey.
Jamaica's looking for a matchup.
Newland powers in. Flicks it over his back, wide of the cage. Isaac Newland plays just about every sport right-handed, except this one where he's a dominant lefty.
Dynamic lefty with a viciously hard shot. Very good high school lacrosse career at Sleepy Hollow. He played for John Torpy at High Point. When Isaac Newland gets the rock, you better look out.
Kids grow up, and it goes by fast. At Rady Children's, we're growing up too. Always looking for answers and new and better ways to care for your kids.
That's true.
Researching, innovating, breaking ground. As they soar to new heights,
Ignition.
We're ready for takeoff too.
Liftoff.
We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse.
Experience real in a whole new way. From the all-new Rescue Junior, where learning about saving animals is fun, to the icy mission of the all-new Arctic Rescue, the longest and fastest straddle coaster on the West Coast, and spectacular new shows, concerts, parades, and fireworks. All in a world you need to rediscover. Get tickets as low as $64.99 during our 4th of July sale. SeaWorld San Diego. Real amazing.
Canada with a quick start, a 3-0 advantage over Jamaica in this quarterfinal round action in the first half of the opening frame. Jamaica looking to get on the board. This is quarterfinal number 3 of 4 this Wednesday in San Diego. Team USA against Team Israel, 10 p.m. Eastern. Chris Quater, Paul Carcaterra have that for you on ESPNU. Back to the live play in this one. Canada working very swiftly.
Wow, double team.
Extending its defense there.
Interesting call off the timeout to double team and pull the goalie by Team Canada.
Dylan Ward in the cage for Canada to start. A man who has won at just about every level. Nothing but a winner. Dylan Ward, Minto Cup, NLL, PLL, and a World Championship MVP when this event was contested in Denver, Colorado.
Dylan Ward wearing the Chris Sanderson jean jacket today that goes to the MVP. They wear it post-game in the locker room, and then they wear it on the bus coming over to games. It's something in memory of Chris Sanderson, who was a goaltender here for Team Canada in 2006 and 2010, who passed away 11 years ago today.
As Canada will use that for motivation and emotional. Matt Brown was talking us through that today, how much Chris would have loved to have played in a quarterfinal against an upstart nation like Jamaica.
Excited to play a new face, and what Chris loved about this tournament was the interaction and the new Jamaica new on the world scene, and that's what Brody Merrill emphasized when he talked to this team pregame as they dedicate this game to the memory of Chris Sanderson. Sandy.
Peterson feeds, Teat keeps it hot, bouncer on the way, McPeak makes a save, and he dives out to pounce on a loose rebound. He's very good outside of the crease. We noticed that right away with his ball handling, his movement. His outlet passes are extraordinary.
That's an understatement. He is really, really fast and confident with the ball. He takes chances. Alex Cade, who is his mentor, as I mentioned here in California. Alex Cade was a similar goalie, man. He was never shortchanged. Nate started playing lacrosse in 5th grade. He said he was a catcher in baseball, and he got bored. and then joined a lacrosse team, played for the South Bay Outlaws.
Goran Murray, an All-America at Maryland, will clear. Played on for Channing Thomas. Yesterday was the best day of his sporting life, Channing Thomas said, as there's a timeout call.
Channing is pretty old. He's one of the voices of this team. He's 26 years old. He's a coach at the University of Bridgeport in Connecticut, and he's got a big voice in these huddles. He started playing lacrosse, Channing did, when he was in 9th grade in Norwalk, Connecticut. His mom was born in St. Mary's, and his family emigrated here.
Channing was telling us this experience has been a dream since he was 16 years old. He was a lockdown defender, played a lot of basketball growing up.
If you look at this Jamaican huddle, the biggest challenge for lacrosse in Jamaica is equipment. Quite honestly, it's getting sticks and helmets and gloves. And if you want to help out, just go to JamaicaLacrosse.net, or on Instagram, go to @JamaicaLacrosse, and you can be a part of what has been the greatest story here to me that I've seen in international lacrosse, and I've been watching games since the early 80s, Joe. The story of this tournament has been the emergence of the Japanese team, the Israeli team, and this Jamaican team. Those three teams, Japan, Israel, and the Jamaicans. They're the huge story of this event in San Diego this summer.
Mark Wilson, center screen there, said together. Be the best version of themselves that they can be together today. Heavy underdog against a superpower with Dylan Ward in the cage, making the stop there on Sears. Back comes Canada in white. The Canadians with the first 3 salvos on the board quickly. Jalen Rogers looking to run, little give and go. Gets it right back to Shumay.
It's good recovery defensively underneath. Really smart. I think it was Diallo, 36 in white and black, who plays for UMBC, played that well off ball.
Connor Fields finding Dyson Williams. Williams is shooting 75% in this event. Wes Berg, another player that Matt Brown, his head coach, was hoping would crack through today. Fields isolating from the flank. Fast feet. Fields bluffs the behind the back. Beautiful ball fake from the angle, and McPeak shuts the door again on Williams. Masterful moves from Fields with the ball fake.
But McPeak said, not today, baby, not today. He didn't want that highlight going viral because it would have.
Definitely.
And he bails his teammate out with a clutch save. McPeak so good up top.
Daniello Parkinson brings it ahead for Jamaica in the dark jerseys as you flash back to that stop.
Parkinson, a Long Island native, having played at Roosevelt High School and then at St. John's.
Minichiello has it, shaded by Casey Wilson, who plays at the University of Denver. 2024 will be his junior year with the Denver Pios.
Marcus, they call him Mini. He's a baller. He is tough as nails. 49 in black.
Hossack peering out. Sears will share it with Daniello Parkinson. St. John's University on his resume with the Red Storm. Great pickpocket takeaway. Zach Currier makes the strip, and he'll run. Currier with fast break numbers. Dixon keeps it hot. Good stick to the interior, knocking it down. Follow up, though, around the horn. Layup for Ryan Lee.
Dazzling ball movement, and the Maple Leafs are out in full force. Joe, the news item in that goal, Zach Currier's back in the lineup. This is the first game that Zach Currier has played in this tournament. Here's the turnover, and 77 in white. This is his signature. A two-end play. The Peterborough, Ontario native, who was a star in Netanya, Israel in 2018 after a great career at Princeton. That could be a difference for Canada. He did not play in the opening round pool play last Wednesday against the U.S.
Ryan Lee gets his first of the afternoon. He has goals in all 5 games for Canada in this event. The Canadians entering play this quarterfinal round with a mark of 3-1. Jamaica at 5-0, another face-off win for Jake Withers. Withers is the kind of guy who in the past has battled USA's Baptiste quite well at the X.
Yeah, what he typically has done in that matchup is to make it a scrap, make it a 50-50. Withers is outstanding on loose balls. Maybe not as efficient as Baptiste or Erlin right off the initial move, but if he can scrap it up and make it a 50-50, that bodes well for Canada.
Tony Diallo, Goran Murray, Channing Thomas, the close defenders for Jamaica. It's Thomas running along with Josh Byrne. Byrne, who opened up for a 3-goal, 2-assist effort against England on Monday.
The headliner for this defense is Goran Murray, 44. He's got the yellow stick, the righty. University of Maryland, a first-team All-American back in 2014. His mom, Jennifer, Jamaican.
Peterson will take it for a little ride. Final minute of the opening quarter, stop time under 30, and now the officials put a stall warning on to Canada. They have to keep it inside of the attack box. Holding for a final possession as the time hits 30 to go. Opening strikes from Peterson, Teat, Dixon, and Lee. 4 different goal getters for our neighbors to the north. Joel Brown, the short stick defensive midfielder against Smith. Great look inside cross crease. Just missing on the follow finish there was Lee. Murray running for cover with 6 seconds left. Goran Murray brings it along, shuffles to the trailer with a flag down as Clifford Kirker picks it up. The offside call will bring us to a halt after 15 minutes of play in this, the third quarterfinal of the day. The 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship presented by Rady Children's Hospital. Canada with the expert ball movement. They know how to finish. Lee did it once. Not to be outdone, Ryan Lee and the Canadians in front. Second seeded in this event, Team Canada roaring over Jamaica in this quarterfinal early. Plenty of fans in the stands here in Sunsplash, San Diego, loving life at the 4-0 advantage. Canada winning this event 3 times in the past, and the last time it was in the United States back in 2014.
A 1-goal loss in Netanya, Israel at the buzzer. Controversial fashion in a low-scoring game against Team USA. They met last Wednesday in pool play at Snapdragon Stadium in what was a slow-paced 7-5 game, but both teams playing their cards close to the chest. And what I've seen from Canada is just gradual improvement. You see it in their ball movement, you see it in their structure defensively. They typically get much better as this tournament evolves.
Jamaica head coach Mark Wilson said the extra man's getting better. Let's see how they fare here to start the second quarter. A man up against Team Canada. Carson Sears wears 8 in the black. He has the ball right now. Newland with the big swim move. Forging his way in, wants his left, gets triple teamed, and the Canadians make the takeaway. Hossack vacuuming it off the ground, didn't come up cleanly though. Another chance for Jamaica. That's 17-year-old Stone Evans. Cushing Academy, Worcester County, Mass. And Quint, he's verbal to Air Force Academy.
He's a rising senior. 2024 grad. I met him back in 2021 in Hartford during the championship weekend. He was working out in the hotel gym, and I was just blown away by his maturity, his work ethic. His mentor is Jules Henningberg, PLL player and former Rutgers Scarlet Knight. They communicate almost daily, and they train together when Stone can get down in New Jersey.
Another caused turnover for Canada's defense. Stone's mom, Shelley, was born in Jamaica.
Stone's got extensive box experience indoors.
Speaking of explosive indoor players, Connor Fields, who went for 112 points in 17 games with Rochester, number 5 in the white. Exploring at the offensive end with Dyson Williams. Williams getting a little bit of a different role from Matt Brown with the national team than what he would get at Duke.
He's running out of the box as a midfielder, but he's typically been away from the ball carrier and away from the 2-man side. And so he's an off-ball floating player who can catch in space and then finish. He's showcased a better dodging skill set here in San Diego that he's ever shown at Duke.
Feed to the interior, quick flick, score! Lee with his back to the cage. as his second in succession.
Rapid fire passing. The RIT grad capitalizes. This is just all about the off-ball movement from Team Canada and the snappy passing. And Jamaica's defensive structure can't hold up.
Quint, one thing you were talking about when we were sizing up this matchup, you were concerned about what Jamaica would do defensively on the interior against a team that works with a great passing connections like Canada. What was it that caused that alarm for you?
Well, I just think, you watch that game as we did the Italy game, and you watch this team. They've played great defense in their pool play, okay? This is a Jamaican team that took care of Germany, Switzerland, Poland, New Zealand, and Italy. The passing, though, is elevated in the top pool, and then here now in bracket play. And I thought they won matchups on the perimeter against Italy, but this is a different level of snappy passing.
The most goals they've surrendered, Jamaica that is, in a single game in this event is 6. And that's the number that Canada's on right now with another salvo from Teat.
And so it is that passing movement from side to side or from back to forward that puts the defense on their heels. It's got Nate McPeak now got his eyes and his feet on the move. So watch how fast this Byrne gets this ball out of his stick. And he's not even looking at the man who's positioned to catch it, cradle, and shoot it in one motion. So everything is happening at just lightning, super fast speed. Kind of a new place for Jamaica. Playing in their biggest win in program history yesterday against Italy. They got a top 8 finish. And this game will go a long way for their development.
Inacio did not get that draw. It was Owen Stevenson with a face-off win. Stevenson takes draws both with a short stick and a long stick. Quint, he won that one with a long pole.
Well, I met his dad yesterday. His dad, Colin, actually works for Long Island Newsday as the Rangers beat reporter. And Colin was born in Kingston, but Owen, he's not a face-off man. Okay, he'll use the pole. He's a natural LSM. He's from Glen Rock, New Jersey, 21-year-old. He's learned how to face off basically for this assignment after playing for this Jamaica team in Ireland last summer in the U19s.
Canada taking care of business in this quarterfinal. The United States gets Israel in the nightcap. 10 p.m. Eastern time. You can see that on ESPNU and ESPN Plus. On the run now, McLaughlin, Josh McLaughlin, who was outstanding for the under-21 Jamaican squad. 18 goals last summer.
Also, he played in the Sixes in Birmingham.
Sears on the throwback. Evan Redwood is 7 in the black. He's the oldest man on this squad. Division III Amherst College, 2012 graduate.
34-year-old, lives in New York City and works for Google. He's a Lutherville Timonium product of their rec program. Played at Gilman in Baltimore, Evan Redwood.
Canada shaping up defensively, protecting Dylan Ward. Already with a 6-0 advantage. Just 6 minutes now into the second. A stall warning put on against Jamaica. Long-range drive kicked out by Ward. A netminder who uses his feet so very well. Clearing time for the Canadians. No worries there for Mike Grace, who's subbing in for the injured Owen Grant. Jalen Rogers, defensive midfielder, transition player in the indoor game. Traditional two-way type midi.
Jamaica still playing hard. I love this. Channing Thomas out, challenging. This is a team that plays with great spirit. They play with good emotion. Their fan support throughout this week has been off the charts cool. All the folks are back on the island watching. They're proud of these players. They should be. What we saw yesterday on the bench, the guys were humble. They were listening. They're representing this country.
Split save by McPeak to deny on Fields. Ball belongs to Jamaica.
McPeak got that graduate degree from Georgetown, lives and works in Washington, D.C. Super smart young man.
Flag comes down here as we revisit the stop from McPeak. McPeak knew this would be a tall order. Jamaica squaring off against one of Lacrosse's superpowers. Berg's in the crease there. Jamaica gets control. Let's have some fun, McPeak said. 6-0, Canada ruining the fun so far. Folks, Rady Children's Hospital, presenting sponsor of the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship, the largest children's hospital on the West Coast, ranked among the 10 best children's hospitals in the nation. They are outstanding with respect to research, innovation, and breaking ground. The good people at Rady Children's Hospital. Our brackets, we are in quarterfinal Wednesday in San Diego. The U.S. host Israel in our final quarterfinal. Earlier today, duplicate 10-5 scores and wins for Australia and Haudenosaunee. So the Haudenosaunee getting past Japan. Australia will meet the winner of USA-Israel. Canada flexing its muscles early in this quarterfinal on top by 6.
Australia's consistency is just mind-bogglingly impressive. And then the other story is Team Japan and Japan's emergence, their ascendance internationally. They started playing lacrosse in the mid-'80s in Japan, and they have gradually worked their way now up into a quarterfinal position. So
their offense has been spectacular, Quint. Top 2 scorers in this event, both from Team Japan. Sears lets it fly. Scores! Kari Sears.
What an incredible moment. Sears from distance. Out of many, one people. That's their motto. And their fans come to their feet. Their bench is buzzing. Huge, huge goal for the Jamaicans.
When we approached head coach Mark Wilson yesterday, we said, hey, Kari Sears, he goes, you know what? He wasn't even on the team. He was an alternate. The reason he's on the squad, the injury to Dante Bowen, and in Coach Wilson's words, Sears has completely overperformed, and they're joyful for that in Jamaica. Ending the 6-goal run, Canada gets the ball right back, and Josh Byrne goes to work. Multiple goals for Byrne in 3 of his first 4 outings. Working in off the roll dodge, he'll play catch with Peterson, who started the scoring spree today. Now Dane Smith, whose offensive game is becoming more and more unlocked as the event goes on. Peterson whistles one high and wide. Folks, in lacrosse, on a shot, closest to the ball, where and when it leaves the playing surface, gets possession. This one stays with Canada.
If you're watching this game from the Caribbean, just picture basketball being played on grass. Very similar concepts.
McPeak with a denial on Peterson.
Beautiful leg save from mid-range, a tough one. You see how light he is on his feet. Didn't get the stick there, but man, he takes that off the shins.
Yesterday, it was Jamaica neutralizing names like Piatelli, Cuccinello, Della Fera, and Trasalini. Could be a law firm in Rome.
That's what I had for dinner, fettuccine bolognese last night in Little Italy. But how about that outlet pass? McPeak, 60 yards on a strike.
Getting the ball to the cross of A.J. Knox, who will turn 22 in December.
I was hungry making my board for Italy. Between Bologna and Rome.
Another snapshot here. Ward makes the save. A kneeling stop there to turn away Michael Lawrence.
And a mola where the Amarina cherries.
You're trying to get us hungry again. Temperatures in the 60s, another gorgeous day here at Torero Stadium in San Diego.
It's a warm 68, Joe. It's a warm 68. You better wear the sunscreen or you walk around looking like a lobster like Chris Quater was after one day here.
Well, we got to get him painted up right. He's on tonight's quarterfinal with Paul Carcaterra when the United States and Israel hook up.
With the ounces, I had to buy sunscreen down the basement of the hotel, basically. $19.99 for one little spray bottle. Woo, sticker shock.
They were able to see you coming. Westberg with it.
That's right on the expense report.
Really?
Absolutely. It's health. That's a product I need.
I understand. Dixon is in charge here, working against Diallo, physical customer.
Look at him. That's great defense.
Here comes the help.
Oh, I love it.
Perfectly timed by Channing Thomas. who must be teaching that nowadays as the defensive coordinator at the University of Bridgeport. Canada remains in possession. No shot clock in this World Lacrosse Men's Championship. At the doorstep, Canada adds to its totals.
You know, this is a move by Dyson Williams. Quite honestly, Joe, we cover a ton of Duke games, and the ACC network has like every Duke game. Dyson Williams have never shown this kind of dodging ability. Watch this. Left to right split or a left to left, he gets underneath. I mean, quickness from the perimeter. That's scary to think Dyson Williams has a year of eligibility left down at Duke. And guess what? So does Andrew McAdory and Brendan O'Neill. So Duke brings back their entire starting attack.
That's a lot of weaponry.
You can watch O'Neill tonight playing for Team USA on ESPNU.
Withers claims the draw from Stevenson. So after Williams made the move on Knox, he finished for the 7th goal for Canada today. Dyson, a couple of goals against England. We mentioned the incredible shooting percentage. He can't miss in this tournament, hovering around 80%.
He normally wears 51. His dad wore 51. His dad's a Canadian legend. I remember playing against Sean in Toronto in Maple Leaf Garden and hurting my neck trying to hit him. I missed him and I ran into the boards.
Ow.
I'm serious. He goes in and scores left-handed. I run back to the bench. I have a stinger. My arm is on fire. My fingers are torching. And the coaches start yelling at me.
Oh, yeah.
Sean was a great player.
Sean and Tamara, parents to Dyson. Dad, 3-time Team Canada member. Smith on the go from the angle, kicks it for Dixon. Dixon on the sneak, shovels, and he puts it away. Curtis Dixon, his second, third different multi-goal scorer for Canada.
When I think about the University of Delaware, I think about John Grant Jr., Curtis Dixon, Butch Marino, and Owen Grant as being maybe the best players in their program history. And John Grant Jr., a Canadian. Curtis Dixon, the righty, been doing it forever. He is so strong and poised around the net, 34 years old, a 3-timer. 2014 when they took gold in Denver in that 8-5 game that Dylan Wood was the star, and then a loss in the finals in 2018.
Face-off control once more for Withers and Team Canada in the white. Now on top 8-1, final 70 seconds of the opening half. Curtis Dixon was the captain of the Delaware Blue Hens on the 2017 that went to championship weekend.
Played a lot of lacrosse, both in the NLL, MLL. He's like steady as a rock. His body language, his mental approach, his aura on the field, just steady.
Wes Berg, another San Diego Seal, 14 in the white. As the Canadians circle it up, final 40 seconds of this first half of play. Lone goal for Jamaica, compliments of Kari Sears. Williams will run with it. There with him is Clifford Kirker. I saw his name as a wide receiver on the Boston College Eagles football roster back in the day.
He played for UMass Lowell lacrosse in 2018 and then took an extra year and played BC in 19 as a football player. 6'1", 185 from Needham, Mass.
Playing a defensive role in this World Championship. Snapshot score on the run. Once more for Connor Fields.
Fields from Fort Erie. Plays for the Fort Erie Hawks. He's a dual citizen living in the Buffalo area. Parents Jen and Pete here. He started off the summer with the Archers in Albany with a monster performance week 1. And it's an Archers offense that's got a lot of good things. Tommy Schreiber, who you'll see for Team USA tonight on ESPNU.
Team USA against Team Israel, 10 p.m. Eastern. Israel squeaking past Ireland to get into the quarters.
And historic moment for that young program as well.
Absolutely. As time will expire in the opening 30 minutes. A long drive from Latrell Harris that's answered. Matt Brown, all smiles on the Canada sideline, and well, he should be. They've made it rough on Nate McPeak in the cage for Team Jamaica. The Jamaicans who upset Italy to wind up in the quarters running into a powerhouse from Canada. The lone bright spot for Jamaica is Kari Sears. Other than that, Canada's in control. Q and I will have highlights and stats at halftime. Folks, you're watching the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship presented by Rady Children's Hospital. Searching for better ways to care for your children at Rady's. 9-1, Canada has the advantage over Jamaica halfway home in this, the third quarterfinal of the day. The fourth one involves Team USA. They'll match up with Israel tonight. That game comes your way 10 p.m. Eastern. You can see it on ESPNU.
When you boil it down, it looks like it's going to be a collision course between the U.S. and Canada. Right now, internationally, you got 86 nations who play the sport of men's lacrosse. There are 30 here in San Diego. They were divided into, 6 groups of 5 for pool play, and now we're playing for keeps here. It's going to be fascinating. The Haudenosaunee have done amazing work, Joe. To me, their schedule and the schedule dynamics have not worked in their favor, and yet they have maintained a certain level of professionalism, focus, structure, and discipline to kind of grind out a couple wins here in really impressive fashion.
Haudenosaunee lost to Canada by just a single goal. This is the Canadian squad that won the World Game 6s in Alabama last summer. They'd love to win the full field World Lacrosse Men's Championship this time around, battling Nate McPeak and Team Jamaica in the quarterfinals. 11 players on this roster for Canada who played for them back in 2018 in Israel. The United States winning that one in thrilling fashion with a second remaining in regulation. Canada has ruled at the face-off X. They start this third quarter with another possession.
It's an 11-1 margin there. You know, Owen Stevenson for Team Jamaica, as we said, he played at CCBC Essex. He's from New Jersey, Glen Rock. He's not a natural Fogo. So sometimes he'll use a shorty, sometimes he uses a pole. He's a natural LSM, the 21-year-old. Looking to land on a D2 team next year. And let me tell you, this kid Owen Stevenson can play. Keep in mind, he's not a Fogo. He's more of a midfielder or an LSM.
Byrne angling in, playing a little two-man game with Peterson. Slipped the pick there. Peterson draws another double team and sends it right back to Josh Byrne, who plays PLL with Chaos. Goran Murray defensively for Jamaica was wondering if he'd get a chance to cover his former Bayhawks Major League Lacrosse teammate. Byrne fires. McPeak starts the second half with a stop.
McPeak may get some looks from the PLL if he keeps playing like that. Byrne's head coach Andy Towers of the Chaos. Been watching all these games on ESPN Plus. Tonight's game will be on the U, and then the semis and the finals on ESPN2. But I'm telling you, these PLL coaches now, guys like Mike Pressler, Brian Holman, they're watching every game they can get their hands on. They're always looking to find a player.
Mike Grace stealing that clearing bid, playing catch with Latrell Harris, as Team Canada balances up 6-on-6.
That doesn't change. You know, that's the high school guys get recruited by college. College guys get by pro. Even at the international level, there's a diamond somewhere here. There's a diamond, and they're looking for diamonds.
Dyson Williams has been a spark plug in the last few games offensively for Team Canada. Matt Brown says he sees signs of the Canadian offense going where he wants it to go. He really wants them to pick it up with their transition game. Fields now in the half-field set. Connor Fields, lightning quick. Off the shake. Swim move comes against Daniello Parkinson. He sent it wide.
Nice defense by Parkinson. Roosevelt High School on Long Island and St. John's. His mom, he was telling me his mom often didn't get to watch him play, both in high school and college. But this format offers the opportunity for her to watch him play.
Diallo gets the power matchup on Dixon, and Curtis Dixon has the hat trick.
Dixon couldn't go left on a green arrow, but let me tell you one thing. He's the king of going right-handed, and that time he just curls to pay dirt. Dodges to the dirt, which here is grass. This field is held up extremely well, and there you see the veteran Curtis Dixon. Again, you look at Curtis Dixon, they could be up 15-0, they could be down 15-0, we could be in triple sudden death overtime. He's got the same vibe all the time. It's unbelievable.
Fan favorite indoors with the San Diego Seals. 44 goals and 100 points this past season, helping to power Canada easily ahead of Jamaica in this quarterfinal.
Did you see the game the Seals played this year, Joe? They played an outdoor NLL game, which was really cool. The other thing, we were on the USS Midway today. How about a PLL sixes game out on the Midway?
Now I see where you're
coming. On the aircraft carrier.
Now where I see where you're heading.
That would be awesome, just like to have in college basketball.
Peterson waiting for this relay from Dean Smith. Smith's first time in the Field World Championship event. Extremely tough cover as his game continues to evolve. He works in against Clifford Kirker.
Yeah, Kirker does a nice job matching speed with Smith, who they say is Canada's fastest player.
Lob it over the top, flick and score. Ryan Lee with a flag down.
Man, you make a mistake, you offer a crack or a crevice, and Team Canada is going to capitalize. Smith's under all sorts of pressure, kicks it to X. They press the side. The defense has to come halfway to respect it, and then Lee does a backhander. The flag happens after the shot. How vicious is this? There were some calls. Yes, yeah, that's high. That's a good call. Channing Thomas just rides it up a little too high.
Quint, earlier in the day, you made reference to basketball. The one thing Canada does especially well, regardless of opponent, in basketball parlance, is space the floor. They have the ability to thread the needle and make passes to pinpoint spots and move you around and space the floor.
And everyone's always playing their defender, whatever role they are. So they're putting their defender in a bind, in a conflict area between help and guarding them. And when the defender feels comfortable, they move.
Little extra man practice now. Bang, bang, inside layup for Teat.
Dixon the Teat. Just too easy. You've got to guard this team inside out. Jamaicans taking a monster step, winning that game yesterday against Italy and sweeping through pool play undefeated. 5-0 coming into this game. And a big story in this tournament. If you're a fan, they need equipment down in Jamaica. It's JamaicaLacrosse.net. It's at Jamaica Lacrosse at Instagram. Used equipment. You got something hanging in your garage, an old stick, Joe? I know you do.
Several.
Helmet.
Several.
Arm pads, gloves, cleats. Clean it out, man.
Those have all been eaten by mice, sort of like Warren Hill for Haudenosaunee.
There are 10 high schools right now in and around Kingston, Jamaica that play lacrosse, okay? And the island nation is watching this game, and those high schools, they could use your support.
Ryan Lee with a hat trick, Curtis Dixon with a hat trick, Jeff Teat also a 3-goal outing. As Josh Byrne gets to work. Worked over there by Stevenson. Long-range whistler to the top corner from Peterson.
I thought that was good defense initially by Owen Stevenson. I thought he did a nice job of sitting down, matching hip to hip. He took a good drop step, and he managed to cut the angle off. But then the throwback, again, the off-ball adjacent defender having some. This is not bad here on Byrne. There's no reason to double team, and the adjacent defender just steps to Josh's eyes. So I thought Stevenson did a wonderful job. That's, as I said earlier, Stevenson's looking to play D2 lacrosse next year. He's look him up if you're a college coach right now. You'll probably find him. I think he might be in the portal, but it's Owen Stevenson at a CCBC Essex.
Taking the draw there against Ignacio. Justin wins it and goes right to the cooker. Ignacio flexed that one wide of the goal.
And I mentioned it, Joe. If he can match paces with Josh Byrne, he can play D1.
No doubt. We need a TV timeout. Canada in control in this one, midway through the third. Canada breaks the huddle, feeling pretty good about itself. A 13-1 advantage over Jamaica in the quarterfinal. World Lacrosse Men's Championship presented by Rady Children's Hospital. Joe Beninati, Quint Kesnick with you. A big shout out of thanks to all the men and women in our technical crew for their efforts today and throughout this event.
They've been awesome. I got to tell you, the other night I had dinner at the truck with our crew. The best truck TV dinner that I've ever had. It was bacon-wrapped buffalo meatloaf.
Bison,
right?
Yeah.
Bison meatloaf
Legit.
wrapped in bacon. I stood there and I overate, man. I got to live on the bike.
Maybe Israel and the United States will have that as a pregame meal. They're getting set for tonight's quarterfinal, 10 p.m. Eastern. You can see that on ESPNU. It's Chris Cotter and Paul Carcaterra bringing it your way. The winner of this game, well on its way to being Canada and Haudenosaunee in the semis. Australia awaits the winner of the matchup between the Americans and Team Israel. Canada has had the ball just about, I'd say 90% of the time today. Working at the offensive end. Running time in the third quarter until there are 30 seconds left in it. Westberg on the move. Watched again by Clifford Kirker. He and Matthew Merritt and Joel Brown among the short stick defensive mids for Mark Wilson. Matthew Merritt was dealing with an injury late in the game yesterday. Was a bit of a question mark today. Murray picks up on Jeff Teat. One of 3 different hat trick performers for Canada.
Merritt, eye-catching, number 1 in the black jersey, 6'3", 190 from Nantucket.
Berg on his way to the goal. No chance there for McPeak. They're going to wash it out, though. No goal, no goal. It remains 13-1 Canada.
Berg can't believe it. No video review in international ball.
A wrap check there from Wes Berg on the ride. Knocked it loose. There's a flag down, a hold call.
Westberg, Coquitlam, British Columbia. Member of this team in 14 and 18. He was young buck in 14. Played for Bill Tierney, who recently retired. Now Matt Brown, the new head coach at Denver. Coach T will be here in San Diego, I think, for the championships.
Wonderful, wonderful man. I had a layover in an airport earlier in the season. It was probably 2 hours worth. And the conversations with Coach Tierney took away 90 quick minutes in no time. It was fabulous. So educational. Held in such high esteem. 50 in the black is Mark Darden. His dad, Mark Skip Darden. 3 times a national champion at Hobart in the mid-'80s. A stop there. Off the bench in reserve now. Brett Dobson has come on. Subbing in for Dylan Ward. Matt Brown will tell you he has 2 outstanding netminders for Canada, and that they'll lean on both.
Yeah, I was going to say, and the U.S. has 2 in Jack Kelly and Blaze Reardon. How do you think that's going to shake down, Joe?
When it comes down to crunch time?
If these 2 teams are on collision course for a Saturday game on ESPN2, who do you think starts for either?
If I'm a betting man, it's Blaze against Ward.
To start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Be interesting to see. The USA defense has been really terrific in this tournament. To me, that's been the best part of their team by far. Congratulations to Jesse Bernhardt, whose wife had a child yesterday. But Bernhardt, JT Giles Harris, and Jack Rowlett have been A++.
No doubt. Dane Smith assists in the first 2, goals in the last 2. Not on the board just yet in this one. Swing it on around for Byrne. Roster size is 23.
This is a good matchup. It's Merritt against Smith. Okay, similar body types. Smith known for his speed. I think he wants to feed. I don't think he's going to the goal for himself. I think he dodges to feed.
Matthew Merritt was an alternate in 2018 for Jamaica. It was passport issues that foiled him. Dane Smith, watching him work, Goran Murray said that split dodge is wicked.
It was Merritt who told me yesterday he started playing lacrosse in 9th grade. He's a good high school football player, he's a wide receiver. And head coach Rick Blair said, we need some speed. So they gave Merritt a lacrosse stick, and here he is now. Played at the University of D.C.
Lee on the business end of another nice pass to the interior. The lead grows for Canada. Lee has his 4th.
RIT's got more guys playing in this tournament from more different teams. Really unbelievable how many RIT alums are playing in this tournament. Lee is just automatic turn and rake from mid-range, but a great look from Byrne. Josh Byrne may be my most favorite player to watch in the PLL right now. You got 3 or 4 for Lee?
4 for Lee.
I got 4, yeah.
I remember, I'd say the name Ryan Lee, I instantly think of Denver Outlaws. Ignacio gets control of this face-off. Stevenson tracks him down with a trail check, and then it comes up for Jamaica.
The Denver Outlaws?
Yes. Yeah, you took the D out of it, I heard. That was sneaky. Joel Brown helping out along on this clearing effort with Stevenson. Timeout called by Jamaica.
Go to Denver East. Go west to Denver East.
Well, we learned that the hard way.
You got a chalupa, and the stadium's on fire. We got stories from Denver, folks. We could write.
Wow.
We could write.
That's a full chapter of the book.
We could write it. The Armada's coming. The flotilla.
Yes.
We could write a book about that.
Careful now. Mark Wilson presiding over this huddle for Jamaica. Coach was talking about his dad, Carroll, born in Jamaica, raised him with such pride in the heritage, said he'd be watching today for New Jersey. He said Dad knew nothing of the sport when Mark fell in love with it, but that he has come to grow to love this sport of lacrosse with him.
And Mark Wilson's done terrific work along with Dylan Henningberg and the rest of this Jamaican staff. Wilson, 30 years of experience in lacrosse as a player and a coach. The leader of this Caribbean team. This is a nation that play 10 high schools. Basically, it's a pool of 200 eligible players right now. He says about 80 of them are up to international quality, but he played at Lehigh for John McCloskey in the mid-90s. They had a good team his senior year. They won 12 games, and after kicking around and doing really well for himself in the financial industry and big pharma, he went with his heart, and that's coaching lacrosse. And he's a teacher and a coach in New Jersey. He was an assistant with this group in 2018, and they have taken the quantum leap forward. Again, if you want to get in touch with this Jamaica lacrosse team, it's jamaicalacrosse.net, at Jamaica Lacrosse on Instagram. Follow them, become a fan, be a supporter. This team is going places. This is what the sport needs. This is, to me, one of the coolest moments that I have been around in covering international lacrosse.
Mark Wilson was so proud. He said, now that we're going to finish no lower than 8th, it's going to be the highest finish in a team sporting event by any Jamaican squad at a world championship. The accomplishments for this team, Jamaica. Kari Sears has the ball. He has the only goal today for the Jamaicans. It came in the second quarter against two-time all-world netminder Dylan Ward. That's something he can hold on to, a memento forever.
Paul Quater is in town, Joe. We were touring the USS Midway today, and Paul reminded me that he was down in Kingston for a week doing camps and clinics down there. And he pointed to the equipment shortage and how you got to share sticks and helmets and gloves are hard to come by. They love the game. They just need an opportunity to play.
Josh McLaughlin has the ball. He had a 2-goal performance against New Zealand. Jamaica put 10 on New Zealand. Off the sweep here. Challen Rogers there to defend.
In a zone defense, Canada, right now, or is it a man-to-man that's just packed in?
They're squared up. Brody Merrill's out there.
Feels like a zone.
This is triggered high. Point in time now in this game and in this event where you can experiment, work on some different things. If you're Canada, you're in the driver's seat and on your way to a battle with Haudenosaunee in the semis.
It's a high school player right there. Stone Evans, 12 and black.
Sears on the move against Grace. He sent it wide. Backed up on the end line by Brett Dobson. Closest to the ball, where and when it leaves the field on a shot, gets possession. So this goes to Canada. Final 90 seconds of the third. It was 9-1 Canada after 2 quarters. They got the first 6 goals of the game. They have the last 7 now. Williams scoring among them.
Dyson Williams, to me, has been the most surprising player that I've seen from college or pro to international, either one. But Dyson Williams looks in no part the same player that he does when he's utilized at Duke University, where he's kind of a one-dimensional finisher. He's been a ball carrier and a Dodger here and a distributor. Wow. Will the real Dyson Williams please stand up?
Rob Kelly and Joel Brown helping defensively there for Jamaica. Rob, his brother Alex, they both played for Jamaica in 2018. Rob's mom, Nicola, was born in Jamaica.
University of Richmond. Rob spent a lot of his childhood in the UK.
Williams will jog. Brown with him. Scored against Poland, did Joel Brown. Final 23 seconds of the frame. Williams just chilling. Works around the screen set by Berg. Turns the corner and scores. Dyson Williams.
Will the real Dyson Williams please stand up? Please stand up. So Dyson Williams, if you follow NCAA lacrosse, you know he's a lefty finisher. That's a righty dodger. Are we sure that's really Dyson Williams?
Matt Brown said at the outset of this event, he can carry. He's not just an off-ball finisher. He's helped to prove it, has number 15 in the white throughout the first 8 days of this event. Coach Brown, behind those shades, feeling good about his troops in complete control.
I'm really happy for Matt, who's been a mainstay of this international program for Canada, but for Denver to continue and elevate him from assistant to head coach is the right thing to do.
Daniello Parkinson with the last shot of the third quarter. That's fought off by Dobson. 3/4 of the way complete in this quarterfinal action. 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship. Folks, surf's up at Pacific Beach. Get after it, Q.
Watch the Sharks.
Hang 10.
In San Diego for the World Lacrosse Championship 2023. Canada using terrific offensive spacing. You see the pick and slip. They'll throw a lot of different things at you offensively. Here they spread the field. Look what looks to be a left-handed dodge, and the near side defender hedges too close to the ball carrier. Then you get some east-west action. Always willing to make the extra pass. Always looking to the backside or the inside first. And as I said earlier, they put defenders in conflict, Joe. Whether you're covering the ball or an off-ball defender, your head always got to be on a swivel, and you're making a lot of decisions away from the ball.
I wanted to take you to the Jamaican side then defensively. What kind of a strain does that put on them?
Well, again, I think your first strategy is, okay, are we going to get in the sliding? That is the double teaming business against Canada. And typically the U.S. has said, no, we don't want to do that. But for Jamaica today, they're staying with their normal defense, and they're trying to double team. It's really difficult because the ball moves faster than any human can. And if you're late on your doubles and you're late on your second support slides to the backside, this team will eat and tear you apart.
That's Quint Kesnick. I'm Joe Beninati. Fourth quarter set to unfold. Canada well on its way to winning this quarterfinal, advancing to a semifinal matchup with Haudenosaunee, a rematch of an outstanding one-goal game in Pool A play. Through the cage, snapshot there delivered. McPeak had his hands ready for the drive from Withers.
This Jamaican defense has really counted for themselves well here in San Diego. 5-0 coming into this game. Wins over Germany, Switzerland, Poland, New Zealand, and then a one-goal win over Italy that got close late. They were in control, Jamaica, for most of that game. And next thing you know, you look up, it was 7-6. But this is their second appearance in the World Championships, having come in 13th place in 2018. So it's a program that is ascending, and they've really become the darlings. Honestly, I think Japan and Jamaica are the true fan favorites that we saw over at San Diego State.
It was an amazing reaction yesterday when Jamaica took down Italy. Minichiello had the game winner for the Jamaicans.
If you haven't seen part, I posted some celebration video on my Twitter. It was just awesome the way they run over and salute their fans.
Trail check takeaway there by Channing Thomas, but Canada gets it right back. This is a pretty young Canadian squad, too. 7 players on this team in white, under 25. McPeak getting his hands up again on Teat.
Good stop by McPeak. Seemed like didn't like his body on it, Joe, but his hands stayed true to his eyes, and he tracked it with that top hand. He does a lot of work at the goalie Smith, which is a company up in Baltimore. He'll drive from D.C. to Baltimore, get shots on by the Gavazdin brothers. He's the oldest guy there at 24.
Byrne drops it for Teat.
There's a bunch of rugrats there, 13 and 14-year-olds. Oh, who's this guy coming in with the suit, getting shot at? Well, he's Team Jamaica's goalie now, and credit to the goalie Smith folks for working with Nate.
Terrific athlete, McPeak, on the back end of this squad. He says this team allows him to be himself. There's a great connection. There's a collective heartbeat between this group. Canada has run roughshod over them on the field today, but that I don't think will diminish their spirit. Byrne going to the goal to score. Josh Byrne back on the board.
He glides. He's so smooth, and when there's a momentary confusion on a pick, that's all he needs. You know, this game comes down to steps. Just a little right here, this two-man game. switch is called, maybe it's a little late. You're going to stay on your matchups or you're going to switch, and that's got to be communicated ahead of time. And again, a little hesitation is all he needs to create an angle for his hips, for his shoulders, to free up his hands. Josh Burns, one of the best lacrosse players in the country. He resides for the PLL Chaos during the summer.
Put up 5 points, did Byrne against England on Monday. Canada, the loss in the event opener against the United States, then wins over Australia, Haudenosaunee, and England in succession. They had the bye into the quarterfinal, a day of rest. Get to play around with the family a little bit yesterday.
Yeah, like the Team USA and Canada get 2 days off, or USA got 2 days off. Canada, like you talk about too many riches. Mm-hmm. Like the last thing Team USA needs is a day off. They should make them play twice a day.
Americans getting back to work tonight. Team USA against Israel in the final quarterfinal of the day this Wednesday, 10 p.m. Eastern time. Messrs. Quater and Carcaterra on the call. Berg back behind the goal for Team Canada. Nearly 4 minutes into the fourth. This turns out to be an exercise, a scrimmage the rest of the way for Canada in white.
Good D on Fields. Joel Brown, man, he hip to hip, step for step. That was great.
Can't miss those green shoes.
Florida Southern University, class of 2016, after playing at the Paxson School.
Antoine Campbell out there. McPeak with another denial. Antoine, son of Barbara and Brenton.
Look at McPeak. What a likable, impressive young man.
Better get back to that cage now, in a hurry. Trouble, Williams will score.
That's the other thing when you step up a level, as Jamaica's kind of doing today. You learn that your mistakes, this is an unforgiving game. I talk about it all the time in the PLL, the Premier Lacrosse League. Things happen fast. And on a loose ball, Joe, you see it in the NHL. On a loose ball, you get one shot at it, 1 second. If you don't make the play, it's gone. Offensively, same thing. The look is there, the pass, let's say. But if you don't unleash and pull the trigger, that window closes. Same with shots. You better give the goalie some deception or capitalize, because all of a sudden it's gone. And then defensively. And you see, I think that's been the challenge for Jamaica today. Canada's an unforgiving team to play.
Diving last-ditch effort there from McPeak came up empty. Williams becomes the 4th different Canadian with a hat trick or better in this game.
And maybe they got away with that mistake when they were playing, you know, let's say Poland, just for example. I throw that out there. But against the Canadians, they're going to capitalize on all the cracks that you show them.
Jamaicans scored in double figures against Switzerland and in New Zealand in Pool D. They were the winners of that Pool D with a 4-0 mark. Smith on the go against Daniello Parkinson. Behind the back, that's pretty. Sweet George Brown playing in the background for that layup for Fields.
Wow. That's poetry in motion right there, that goal. Flip that baby, put that thing on the internet, Twitter or Instagram. This ball is humming. Dane Smith, roll back, eyes are up. You see how his eyes are up and then to the backside. Is that Dyson Williams with an assist?
You saw that, huh?
Well,
behind the back assist.
So Dyson Williams, I am not convinced that is truly Dyson Williams. I'm telling you, he's done some things in this game today. I got to go down to the field after this game.
Oshawa, Ontario native Dyson Williams showing off in this event.
I hope the Duke staff is watching that. Woo.
Running time in this fourth quarter until the final 2 minutes. Mercifully for Team Jamaica, with Canada cruising. So Canada gets to match up with Haudenosaunee again. Lars Tiffany's squad has all the talent in the world and an improving defense. First time they met, a 1-goal decision for Canada by an 8-7 count. Challen Rogers is on the go here for the Canadians in white. Team USA to follow the nightcap on ESPNU, 10 p.m. Eastern against Team Israel. Should the United States advance, heavily expected to do so, they'll meet Australia.
I think when you're defending the Haudenosaunee, matchups are really important. Lyle Thompson, Austin Stotts, Randy Stotts. You got to deal with those 3 guys. So Graham Hossack needs to have a big day.
Oof. Canadians going through their offensive patterns, and it's Challen Rogers with a shovel shot upstairs. to add to this offensive display. Get you back to Torero Stadium in just a few moments. The 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship is sponsored by Rady Children's Hospital, the largest children's hospital on the West Coast, ranked among the 10 best children's hospitals in the nation. Canada had 4 in the first, 5 in the second, 6 in the third. They're up to 19 total, running over Jamaica in the battle between the numbers 2 and 10 seeds. This quarterfinal action well in favor of the Canadians, who are on their way to a quarterfinal berth. Just have a look at the numbers. The stats do help tell the story.
Face-offs and ground balls equate to just a overwhelming dominance in possession time by Team Canada.
The sport of lacrosse, Quint, bringing so many different people together, more and more around the world. Team USA fans getting set to square off against Team Israel. That game to follow this one. Earlier today, Australia and Haudenosaunee winning their quarterfinals, so 2 more from the Pool A bracket. Moving on, Pool A used to be referred to as the Blue Division in the World Championships. This is World Lacrosse Men's Lacrosse Championship action from Torero Stadium in San Diego.
Been blessed to cover this event and to get over to San Diego State, see teams like Mexico, Hong Kong, China, Latvia, the Israelis, obviously. Yesterday we watched the Italians. I mean, we met the founder of Italy Lacrosse back in 2002. Was it Rob Corno? And him starting lacrosse in Italy back, and he was right there on the bench, and we're talking to him, and he's telling these incredible stories about, again, starting with a stick. I met a guy from Ukraine this week, Vova Demedchuk, who started lacrosse in Ukraine with 1 stick and 2 lacrosse balls. And he sent me video this morning of young kids playing in that war-torn nation out in a park.
Just amazing. Congratulations again to Brian Vona and Team Italy. The Italians still working through the placement portion of this tournament. 107 games before it's all said and done.
A couple native-born Italians on that team. You know, the challenge for so many of these nations, first of all, is equipment. Second of all, is coaching. Third of all is they don't introduce lacrosse until the athletes are maybe in college, most not in high school, but although some 16, 17, 18. And so when you start late, like the Japanese, you're always playing catch-up compared to the Americans and the Canadians.
Of course, of course. Teat with Smith and around the horn as Canada goes extra man, getting fancy on the perimeter for a cross-crease dunk. Berg, count it, Canada to 20.
Berg from Dyson Williams. Supreme ball movement as Jamaica's defense talks it over. I mean, this is just a passing clinic. 1 cradle and a pass behind the back. Snap, snap, snap. Everything's right on the money. The flag's still flying, though, for Jamaica on the far side. Oliver Hawkins, Jaheim's dad, still flying the flag on the far side, man. You talk about spirit. I spent some time with Mr. Hawkins yesterday. Jaheim from Huntington, Long Island. It's a hotbed. Played at Westminster, PA. Was a great high school linebacker for Julian Watts.
Jaheim's interest in the nursing profession.
But the passion, man, you felt it. You felt it. You know, I think the noise on these venues when a team like Jamaica was winning gathers the neutral fans from different fields. And next thing you know, the crowd swelled. And it was just an incredible moment when they beat Italy. And they celebrated amongst themselves with such authentic hugs, Joe. I was right there as these guys were hugging each other. They've talked about this connection this team has. They've talked about how they feel safe, and it's just a different feeling for them to be in the locker room together.
This event staged at 3 different venues here in San Diego. Championship game to be played at Snapdragon. Again, best of wishes to the ESPN crew, those behind the mic, those in the technical truck, for all of their efforts. Best wishes to
thanks, Joe.
yourself and Anish.
I appreciate that.
Clark and Cotter.
I need a good night's sleep is what I need.
You can get that.
I finished my book today, but I need a good night's sleep.
You're writing a book?
No, reading a book.
Oh, reading.
Yeah. the Culture Code by Daniel Coyle. It's outstanding. I'm going to read it again and take notes this time. That's how good it was.
Was Massimiliano Bonizzoni in it?
No, I did.
He was on the field yesterday.
I did a lot of research on Italy. I expected them to beat Jamaica until I showed up for warm-ups and said, wow, I just wasted 3 hours of my life Google searching these Italian guys because Jamaica's going to win. And Jamaica won.
Congrats to both of those sides. They really put on a good show yesterday.
That's the fun,
right? It was great fun.
That is the fun, to go out and watch Mexico play Hong Kong, to see Team Israel and to see their great fan support, to meet these young men that are part of this Jamaican team that's done something historic this year. Man, that is the essence of the World Championship.
3 minutes to go in this one. Canada will finish off Jamaica. Then we'll turn our attention to Team USA and Israel. Rob Pennell just a couple points behind the great Mark Millen for the all-time record. U.S. points in international play.
USA coming off a rare 2-day break, which will be good for them. Tommy Schreiber should be getting healthy. I'd like to see Matt Dunn back on the field as well. Been a little banged up. The Schreiber injury has been significant, Joe, because they're a little short in terms of the midfielders.
Stall warning on Canada here. Smith lets it fly. Kick out save, McPeak. All the way to the end, Nate McPeak.
Big fan of Nate McPeak. As he said, he's got a degree from Syracuse and Georgetown. Grew up in Chula Vista, which is right, down the road.
No more than 25 minutes away.
Played for Nations United growing up, and as I said, Alex Cade locally was a big mentor of his after giving up the catcher's glove and the catcher's mask in 4th grade to become a lacrosse player. Look where it's taken him.
Mark Darden has possession. Team Jamaica in the black jerseys. Redwood sharing the rock with the youngster Stone Evans.
And you'll hear more of Stone Evans. As we said, he's a rising senior in high school, New England. And he's heading to Verbal right now to Air Force. So proud of Stone. Jules Henningberg's his mentor, who's done masterful work. I met Stone years ago, Joe, and I told you that there's something special about the kid.
Jules' brother Dylan is an assistant to Mark Wilson for Team Jamaica. Daniello Parkinson swinging on around to Kari Sears, who has the lone goal today. Scored it against Dylan Ward back in the second. Other than that, all Canada impressively to the tune of 20 goals.
I was really impressed with watching Dylan Henningberg coach yesterday when we were down on the bench. And if you're looking for a quality coach in your college program, Dylan's been helping out at Columbia High School in Jersey, I believe.
Sears off the sweep.
A great mixture of a fiery competitor, but calm and cool, and one voice in those huddles. This entire staff done terrific work.
Rylan Reese looking after Marcus Winikiello.
He's a baller. He's fierce. You can just see it on his face. Guy plays in the NLL for the Wings.
Evans will snap it around the horn. Final 30 seconds of this one. Pass to the interior, blocked away and scooped up off of the turf in one fell swoop by Patrick Shumay. Another of the San Diego Seals indoor squad that graced the Canada lineup, down to the final 14 ticks.
Not a bad gig.
Quarterfinal number 3 now in the books. Canada the heavy favorite. Canada does all the heavy lifting by the final of 20-1.
Yeah, you'll see some wonderful sportsmanship. Jamaica's moment was yesterday in beating Team Italy, and today was their first foray with the big boys. But I will never forget this moment. I will never forget this team. And I hope folks who watched it will be supportive of Jamaican lacrosse and lacrosse in the Caribbean.
Canada's head coach, Matt Brown, he said, you know what? Let's let it all out today. Well, Canada marched onto the field to do some business, meeting up with the upstart Jamaicans. And when it was all said and done, it was Canada by an awful lot. For Quint Keston, for all the men and women in our crew, Joe Beninati, thanks so much for your time. Canada advances to the semifinals. They'll rematch Haudenosaunee in the semis. Just a reminder, United States, Israel to follow, 10 p.m. Eastern on ESPNU.